What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. This is Matt with Richardson Performance. Glad to have you guys back today. This YouTube game is something that I should have jumped into a long time ago. But like anything in life, it seems like when we get busy doing something, and it's working and it's good and it's bringing prosperity and helping others, we're growing in the ways we want to in life, then you tend to kind of get complacent. It's hard to kind of build those other avenues. So I've dabbled in TikTok and Instagram for a good amount of time now. Instagram, I really hit my locals. TikTok brought me a broader audience and got me more exposure. And through that and doing some live videos on there, I've had a lot of requests to jump on this, what we know is the big ocean here is YouTube, where we can spend a little more time together and get into depth on some topics and create some value that should really resonate and go a little bit deeper than these smaller videos. So I've enjoyed it so far. Yeah, it's been fun. It's helped me to collect my thoughts a little bit more, the things that I've, written down and put out over the last 7 years in my experience in my life, talking with others and just other thought-provoking experiences in my life. I've been able to compile a good list of things to produce and put on here and share with you guys. So that being said, I've enjoyed it and I'm looking forward to the future. So cheers to that. It's cold out today. I like the taste of coffee. I like the smell of coffee. I'm not a cream and sugar sort of guy. I like it just as plain as possible, and it's kind of a comfort drink more than anything, I would say. But I use it specifically as a tool to when I really need to get sharp. I got some things to do after this, so give myself a little bit boost. So that I'm kind of a virgin to caffeine. every time I hit it, I feel it. I don't do it often enough to ever get adapted to it, so to speak. Today's topic is going to be a lost art in today's society. It really is. I think when I say what this art is, everyone's going to go, yeah, absolutely. This is going to build your relationships in your life. And for those of you that, my money hungry people, which I mean, you should be, money's part of it. It really is. Health, relationships, and money. Pretty much any good thing or any problem in your life is going to center around one of those three things. So, this lost art, it came to my attention because in one day, and actually in about a 2 hour period, I had three people say something to me on this topic, and a couple of them was complimenting me on it, which I'm very grateful for, and it made me more astute to being conscious of doing it. And the other one was on another gentleman that was hired. One of my clients is runs the show for a big mogul in our area. He has a big empire, a big operation, and she does everything. And they hired someone younger. She met the employee. He's about a 25, 26-year-old man, and she just complimented on her first interaction with him. So this lost art that I'm talking about is going to connect you to people, and people is where power is in the people, right? That's where you're going to feel wholesome. You're connecting in your relationships. You're going to learn from others, right? You know what's in your own head, but you don't know what other people know. Keep that in mind. And that's how you're going to get wealth, because the more that you can interact and connect with people, that's going to bring value. You're going to be able to bring value to them. You're going to be able to understand them, and then they're going to bring value to you. It's a beautiful exchange of energy, wealth, everything good in life. This lost art that I'm speaking of is listening. So there's an old man that comes in. He frequents the gym that I train my clients at for the last 7 years, and I've become close with him. I spend so much time in there. I'm very grateful for the place that I'm at because I've been able to meet so many people, different walks of life, at in different times of their life. Um, I'm able to teach kids, hey, this is what I wish I knew when I was your age. So do this. I'm gonna take you out of pain. These are the things that you need to be thinking, doing on your day-to-day habits. And then I also have people that have lived 3 times as long as I have, built businesses, sold them, traveled the world, just been around the block. And so I just make sure to do one thing, and that's to listen. And it's not something that I try to do. I think I developed this skill, if you will, from being raised around older people. My dad was the type that would always bring me around his friends, and his friends, when he was 40 were always 60, right? It's just kind of the way it was. He just kind of got along with about a 10 to 20-year older crowd than him. And I spent a lot of time around my grandfather as well. So I've always been around older people, and you had to act a certain way. And I love a lot of the things that are in our modern society today. I'm definitely not one of those guys that's like going to talk down on my generation, because I think that's just honestly a negative outlook. I think there's more good things than bad. That being said, just because of my environment, throughout my entire life, I've developed the habit of listening because, to be quite honest, I've just been interested, and I've known I can learn, and then it's provided me the experiences, either from my own life or from others, to be able to share things with others to help them grow in my coaching business. So I was with a client, and this old man in the gym, he's a former Vietnam vet, just a nice guy, loves sports. And he came over to me, and he came up and grabbed my shoulder. He says, "Hey," he's like, "I gotta tell you something. I know you're very busy right now, but I have to tell you this. You got a second?" I said, "Yeah, sure. What's going on?" And he said, "You know what makes people like you so much, and what I think makes you successful and just attracts people to you in this place?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "Because you listen." He goes, "I was over there doing my set, and I finished up while I'm resting. I'm watching you. I'm watching this lady talk to you." And he goes, "I can tell you really listen to people." And I said, "Well, thanks. I never thought of it. I was just kind of doing it, more or less." And I had someone else later that evening come up and say almost identically the same thing. "You just listen so well to your clients." And so I think a problem in our society is that we often now, and I don't know why this is. These are some of the things I like to ponder sometimes. Is what has kind of led to this, and why does this seem to be the norm? Which is that we don't really listen with the intention of understanding, but we just listen with the intention to reply. And that's a big problem. So what that's going to do is it's going to cut off that exchange of energy that we're talking about. And that's where the money's at. And I don't mean that literally. I do. But I mean, that's what makes us human beings, right? That's what set us apart from every other animal on this earth, being able to communicate, right? When we started communicating is because, let's face it, out here, right, I live in a place where it gets cold, and it stays cold. If we had to go out there with our bare skin, and even if we could bundle up and live out there like these animals do, find food and live and survive, I mean, goodness gracious, we aren't equipped for that. In almost every way, we are physically fragile and inferior to every other animal on this earth, in almost every way. But our ability to communicate and speak to one another. That's what set us apart and set our species apart. That's why we are dominating the earth today. Now, if we don't listen to people, you might be standing there in front of someone and they're talking. That does not mean you're listening. If we don't listen to people, we take away communication, literally. Because communication goes both ways. It's an exchange. So the other story was that my client that is the head honcho lady for the mogul here in my area, she said when they hired this new guy, he came up and she was speaking to him, and she said, you know what? She said, when I speak to him, she goes, it almost took me back because it was so different from other people that I speak to, especially that are that age. Because normally that under 30 crew, when I'm speaking to them, I don't really feel like she's like, and I kind of got used to it. But this guy, I could tell he was all right there. And he's really listening to what I said. And so it almost made me feel weird because I'm not used to it. I was taken aback, she said. And she said the first thing that it reminded me of was you, Matthew, because I think that that's the only time that I ever really experienced that. Now, I think that I need to do a better job of offering that all the time, and especially to those like my family. I think that we all have a terrible habit of being less tolerant, listening less, having less patience for those that are closer to us, being more judgmental of them as well and critical, and demanding more of them, which I think that I'm a very demanding person for those around me. Obviously, myself, I demand the very best of myself, but I'm pleasant, and I try to be gracious and understanding and patient. That being said, I still know that I have this backwards at times where I need to work on being and deploying patience and more understanding to those closer to me rather than strangers. It's not that we shouldn't love the world and everyone equally, but you know what I mean. It's so backwards to do it like that. Why? Why is that? And it seems to be human nature. It's not something, like I honestly feel bad. Like it makes me feel bad. But then I realize that that's what it's like for, like, everyone's like that. But I'm like, why that doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make it okay. So make sure the two takeaways from this video today are going to be conscientious. And what conscientious means is to, in my book, it means to put at the forefront of your mind, right? And it's so hard. We have so many things we're doing during each 24. Pick a couple to focus on that you feel like will better your life. One or two. We can't have a lot of things, or even just pick one thing. I am going to listen to people, especially my family, and listen with the intent of understanding. And if you do that, you are going to be able to get other people, and when you get other people, you are going to be able to help them and provide value to them. And that's where this energy exchange, that's where wealth comes in. This applies for sales. This applies for anything. I don't care if this is a talk with your wife at the kitchen table, or if you're trying to sell a client on something or a prospect. You have to listen with the intent of understanding. And the little kudos, cherry on top of this, is to make sure to deploy extra patience, understanding, and being less critical, demanding the very best of your circle, but treating them like they are your family, which they should be held in higher regard than others that are not as close to you. Thank you guys for joining in today. A pleasure to have you as always. This is Matt with Richardson Performance. As usual, off the cuff. I don't like to edit these. I don't have the time to do it. And so I want to just have straight 15 to 20 minutes where we put it out there and we take it away. I'm still working on my buts, but we're getting better at it. honestly, I feel like I do better if I'm speaking in front of a crowd more than the camera sometimes. It's kind of trippy when you're looking at your own face and trying to make conversation by yourself. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that you found value in this today to add value to me and my brand and my life and what we're trying to build, the community we're trying to build, and the culture we're trying to build locally here, and then that we've expanded and are taking nationally and globally. It would very much help if you liked, shared, subscribed, throw this video up on your Instagram, help us to gain traction. This is going to be an uphill battle for a while. That's just the way that it works. We're going to keep grinding on it, putting them out here, and we'll definitely get over the hump for sure. So, but if you guys could do that, if you're appreciating these videos, show me some love there, show RPC some love, and we will keep cranking these guys out. Regardless, it doesn't really matter either way. So, but if you do, we'll appreciate it. So once again, thanks for tuning in. Matt with Richardson Performance, out.